Hi, I'm Justin, and in this video, I'm going to tell you all about Trustpilot's AI search analytics. We're introducing a new analytics capability called AI search analytics. This shows how often Trustpilot data is retrieved by AI search systems like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude. Now, we know that AI systems surface Trustpilot content when they generate answers. What's been missing is visibility. This feature gives businesses a way to see how their Trustpilot information is used in AI answers and how that changes over time. This is really the foundation for measuring AI-driven discovery. Let's talk about the data and exactly what we're measuring. Here we have an answer from ChatGPT. Now, when ChatGPT and many other AI systems generate answers, they often collect information from the internet to augment their knowledge. This lets them create the most accurate, up-to-date answer as possible. When they collect that information, they actually show you where they insert it into the answer. And you can see this with something called a citation. It looks like a footnote and it appears at the end of each line. This is what we're measuring in our new AI search analytics reporting. We're measuring citations. We're measuring how often your Trustpilot profile information and reviews appear in AI answers. But let's dig a little bit deeper. Let's talk about where this data actually comes from. Now you'll notice at the bottom of this answer, there's a link to what's called sources. And if you click on this link, you can see all of the information that was collected by ChatGPT as it generated this answer. Looking at the sources, I can see 3 instances of Trustpilot information. That means that ChatGPT visited the Trustpilot website 3 times and collected 3 pieces of information. Now when this happens, we can actually detect each of these instances in our log file. And so we have a definitive record of ChatGPT accessing your profile or your reviews and collecting the information. So these 3 citations appear as 3 lines in our log file. And that's what we're counting. We're counting how often we see these AI systems in our log files. Now what's very interesting is that if you look at the answer, you may notice that the information that was collected is cited more than 3 times. So on the right, we have 3 pieces of information, but on the left in the answer, we see that it's been used 4 times. And that's just the way that these AI systems operate. They may choose to use the information more or less. It's really up to them and how they build the answer. Okay, so to summarize, we count AI profile citations based on the number of times we detect these AI systems in our log files. It's a very accurate way to measure the access of your Trustpilot profile information. Now, it could be likely that the actual number of times that your Trustpilot information appears in answers is higher, but we're trying to give you the most accurate, definitive information that we can measure. Now let's take a look at the reporting and some of the data. As I mentioned, AI profile citations is really the foundation of what we're measuring, and we're looking at our log files to count the number of times that these systems access your profile and your review data. We're also creating a metric called AI share of profile traffic, which gives you a sense of what percentage of your traffic is coming from people versus what's coming from AI systems. And finally, we're showing you profile visits that originate from these AI systems. So what is the referral traffic coming to your Trustpilot profile from ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude? Now we're also trending all of these metrics over time so you can see how they change. Here we have a stacked bar chart that shows each of the different AI search engines and their AI profile citation volume. And we're also trending things like the profile AI profile share of traffic so you can see how that's changing over time as well. As I mentioned, we're measuring ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity, so we're breaking the data out and showing you the citations for each of those systems, as well as the visits coming from each of those systems as well, right? So this is really nice because you get a sense of how often are you appearing in the answers with the AI profile citations metric, and then is that translating into traffic to your profile page? Are people clicking on those citations within the answers and visiting your profile to actually read more information? Finally, we have all of this data in tabular form, so you can export the data and perhaps work with it in another tool. All of the metrics we just discussed, like AI profile citations, are also available in other parts of Trustpilot. So if you have access to our Analytics Explorer, you can build your own reports, your own visualizations using those metrics. And if you're an enterprise customer and you have access to our custom dashboarding tool, you can add these metrics to your own custom dashboards. I want to take a moment and talk about Google and Gemini. You may have noticed that we're not including any information from Gemini or Google's AI mode in this reporting. And the reason is that it's difficult to differentiate Google search bot indexing from Gemini retrieval within our log files. And again, we want to give you the most accurate, detailed information that we can. So because we can't differentiate these two Google behaviors, we're not including that data in this reporting. Finally, I'd like to talk about the actionability of this data. Every metric is meant to drive a continuous improvement process, and that's true here as well. The first thing I'd recommend is to get a baseline of what normal looks like for your business. So trend the metric AI profile citations over time to see what normal looks like. Then you can start to do things like experiment with your profile page in order to drive more visibility. Perhaps you add or change the content on the profile page and see what happens to your AI visibility. One thing that we've seen in some of our early experimentation is that review volume and review freshness can really help change AI visibility. And this makes sense, right? Because these AI systems are looking for real human experiences when generating answers, and they're always looking for fresh content. So anything that you can do to drive more reviews and fresher reviews is probably going to help your visibility. So you might look at things like automating invitations or using our in-app review collector widget to collect data from different parts of the customer experience. That's an overview of Trustpilot's new AI search analytics. You can learn more in our Help Center. Thanks for watching and see you next time.